So in today's lesson, we will be going over lines of symmetry for 4th grade students. So the objective for this is students will understand the concept and the types of symmetry, and they will be able to recreate what they learned in the use of creating a mandala of their own. They will also be given a worksheet to help them understand all the different lines of symmetry. So the activities that we have planned, we will first begin by defining symmetry and providing an example. We will then give examples of the different types of symmetry, such as rotational, point symmetry, and reflectional. We will then give examples too of triangles and hexagons, squares, and circles, so that students will get a clear understanding of the different shapes and how the lines of symmetry go into those shapes. So we will then give them a worksheet to make sure that they understand the symmetry. They will be given time to work on that, and then we will give them a definition of a mandala. And we chose a mandala because a mandala is very intricate and has many different lines of symmetry, so we thought that that would be a good idea to provide to the students, and it's also a fun way because the students will be able to create the mandala. So we will define the mandala for them, and then we will provide an example of mandala, and we will show them how to create a mandala, and then students will be able to elaborate the mandala on their own to get more creative. And then they will be given time to work on that, and then in the end we will come together and talk about it.
What is symmetry? Symmetry is when one shape becomes exactly like another if you flip, slide, or turn it. Here's an example of symmetry. One piece of paper, I'm going to fold it in half, then half again, and if you open it, we have 4 quadrants. There are 3 types of symmetry.
So you have reflectional symmetry. This is when it mirrors each other. One half is the reflection of the other half. Here's an example. If you were to reflect this over a mirror, it would be the exact same on the other side. This is rotational symmetry. It rotates around a central point. It's the same distance from the central point in the opposite direction. So if you were to start from here and rotate it into another quadrant, it would be the exact same. And then this is point symmetry. Every part has a matching part. It is the same distance from the central point, but in the opposite direction. So here's an example of point symmetry. So this is the point that separates the two, but they're still the same. The difference between point symmetry and reflectional symmetry is that point symmetry still connects.
Is an equilateral triangle. Like the amount of sides and angles, there's 3 lines of symmetry. There's one here, one across here, and one across there.
So then we have a square. A square has 4 lines of symmetry. You can go one right through the middle, and then one going horizontally, and then also 2 lines of symmetry that go diagonal. And that equals to 4 different lines of symmetry for a square.
Next is a circle. For a circle, there are infinite amounts of lines of symmetry because no matter what way you fold it, it will always go back to the same shape. So I'll draw a couple, but there's infinite amounts of symmetry.
So for a hexagon, you can draw a line of symmetry going horizontally, vertically, and then you can also go diagonally through the 2 points, And then right here, we'll also make a line of symmetry. And that is equal to 6 lines of symmetry. So then for the project, the children will make a mandala. And what a mandala is, it is a geometric figure representing the universe in Hindu and Buddhist symbolism. Here's an example of a mandala. This is what students will be creating.
Here's a bigger picture of mandala, and students will be able to see all the different lines of symmetry, and they can each look at this and show each line. But right now I'm going to create a mandala. So first you start out with a circle, and then from the circle you make lines of symmetry. Then after that you could draw a circle in the middle. Then start to make shapes that have symmetry on both sides. So that's a shape that on both sides, if you flip it, it's the same. So I'm going to do that all around. And students can create any kind of mandala that they want and can color it in any way they want and create their own, showing the lines of symmetry. After, in between the lessons, we would give out this worksheet after explaining the lines of symmetry in the triangle and the square and the circle, and so that the kids have time to figure out what lines of symmetry actually are. So like they could draw the line of symmetry in the triangle and where they are, and then there's also difficult shapes like the heart and the arrow that they could try finding, since these aren't as simple as the ones we showed in class. After the students had an understanding and we knew that, we would show them a mandala, and they can figure out where the lines of symmetry are, like over here and this one, and they can look at all these different types and decide what they want. They could be creative as they want and draw kinds that interest them.